Okay, hi there. Want to make sure that I am live. Let me check to make sure that I am live in the group as well as on my page as well as on YouTube. Hi everyone. Good afternoon if you're in Maryland or in the East Coast of US. Good afternoon to you. It's about 12:30. I usually go live at 12 o'clock, but I had a little incident this morning. Again, we had a bird. Actually, we came to find out that it's not an adult bird that was injured. It was a fledgling, so it's still kind of young. On Friday, we had the same situation, but this time it was a really baby bird on Friday that didn't have any feathers at all. Well, it had maybe a few, but that was injured and that fell right in front of our stoop, like on our like where our steps are, to go out the house. And so we had to take that to Friskies Wildlife Center. Today it was a sparrow. That the one on Friday was a starling. Today is a sparrow. It's a fledgling. It wasn't really in front of our house. It was between our house and our neighbor's house, and so we took that to Friskies as well. So that's why I couldn't start at 12 o'clock because we just got back about 40 minutes ago, and I didn't want to be doing it while I was like in a hurry and huffing and puffing because I wanted to make sure like the bird was okay. All right, so let's get started. So our From Fearful Fido to Confident Canine online course is starting tomorrow. Folks who are signed up for the course, it's not a very big group, it's a small group, so they're going to get a lot of one-on-one attention there. Well, one-on-one in the sense that all the questions that are going to be asked are going to be answered because it's a small, nice group for the next 6 weeks. So in case you weren't aware, we had our summer cohort for June 2021 for those who wanted to work with their dogs who are either fearful or reactive or maybe some anxiety, usually anxious and fearful dogs. They can come off as they can come off with fear aggression, but not all of them. Sometimes they just hide. Sometimes they do get reactive, but not necessarily in a really, really bad sense. Sometimes it's just like I get reactive, I bark, 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 but then after that I go hide. So we have folks who are working with all kinds of dogs there. Some dogs are reactive in the sense that they want to meet the other dogs, but bottom line, your dog should not be meeting another dog that you don't know because you just don't know what the other dog is like. It might be a very bad meeting. So always remember your dog should not be meeting another dog that you don't know. If you know the other person and your dog has you know what the other dog is like, you can always ask for permission. But I am one of those folks, like my dogs are all trained, but I don't go around say, "Oh, can we meet your dog?" No, we don't. We don't do that. But like obviously my dogs have, they have their pet playmates already, right? You want to find like, one or two dogs that, your dogs could play with, but don't just assume that going up to a stranger asking, "Oh, can my dog meet your dog?" That's going to be okay because, even if the stranger says, "Oh yeah, my dog is fine," you just never know. So like, unless you already know that dog, I wouldn't do that because bad things can happen. And that's also another thing. And I'm going to talk about this because, I may lose friends from this, but whatever. Dog parks, a very long time ago, like it's like 6 years ago. Um, 6 years ago, I used to take my dog to dog parks. That was a bad thing to do because that was what caused my latte to probably be reactive because she was constantly harassed by this German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd's name I can remember. It's Natalie. I mean, like who names their dog Natalie? But somebody named their dog Natalie. It's fine. Natalie is fine. It's a cute name. But that dog used to just berate my dog like the whole entire time at the dog park. And we think that that was why my dog got really, really reactive afterwards. I mean, like my dog was a puppy at that time. And so like I didn't know better, right? But this was like 6 years ago. And then I learned better. It's like, oh, we don't bring our dogs to dog parks anymore. Like I'm thankful because I have a pack of 6 dogs and they can all play together so that we can find a place that they can play together. But like if you don't have, if you're like a 1 dog family or 2 dog family and you want your dogs to play with other dogs, first of all, obviously you got to make sure that your dog's not like super reactive in the sense that it's going to attack the other dog. Secondly, you need to find people who have dogs who are the non-reactive kind, the kind that is calm, the kind that knows how to be polite. Okay. That means it's not going to berate your dog. It's not going to react towards your dog in a very bad manner. All right. So let's see. I don't know your name, but I'm just gonna put like Facebook user. So if you didn't click on like the StreamYard giving access to your name doesn't appear. I have a 6-month old Rottweiler. His weight is 38 kg, but he just don't eat a lot. So what's the question? This Facebook user, I'm guessing that if your dog is not eating a lot, maybe it's because he doesn't like the food. Have you tried changing the food? Okay, let's see. Somebody else says, Luis, you said, I would like my dog to be more nicer with dogs in general, like other dogs, right? So you want your dog to be less reactive with other dogs. I don't know whether you downloaded the Reactive Dog guide yet so that you can work with your dog. There is a certain set of steps that you need to take to be able to work with your dog. So let me just give you the link to that if you haven't yet. I would want you to follow this. I would want you to follow the step-by-step sequence of what you need to do with your dog so that your dog will be less reactive. Now, you don't want to just introduce your dog right away to an unknown dog. You want it to be slow, but you want it to be from a distance, right? And so a lot of people think, oh, well, I can just bring my dog over and then just let them sniff and then it will be okay. That's not going to be how your dog learns to be okay with other dogs, especially if it's a reactive dog. You need to start from afar. You need to start from a distance, and then it sees another dog. And then it's like, okay, you need to make sure that your dog maintains eye contact with you instead of the other dog, because you do not want it to react to the other dog. You want to only treat or give praise or give pets to your dog when your dog is keeping an eye on you, because it is so reactive to the other dogs. You don't want it to be an immediately jarring thing for that dog, right? For that dog as well as your dog. So Louise, I'm giving you the link. I'm not sure whether you already downloaded the Reactive Dog Guide, but the Reactive Dog Guide is the one that is going to help. I try to give him a firm no. Now, another thing, Louise, I'm not sure how much of my live Q&As you've watched, but I don't use the word no, because the word no is in my my daily vocabulary. You know, when I talk to other people in the house and whatnot, like I use the word no. I actually, when I want my dog to stop something because they are doing something that is not polite, in this case might be reacting to the other dog in a very, very inappropriate manner, I actually use this word, and it has got to sound like this. Is that out? Do you hear that? Out. All right. It's a very guttural out. That sound is very much like the tone and sound that dog's mom, right, the mother dog, would make when it's correcting its puppies. So most puppies, if it hasn't been separated from its mother from birth, like even if it got like just a few weeks with its mother, it would have heard that sound. It's that out. All right. It's that sound. And I use that to stop them from doing what they're doing, and not the no sound, because the no, I use that in my daily vocabulary. And so they would just tune me out, but like not very often do I have to say out, right? Can you hear the guttural tone? It has to be that tone. It has got to be that word and that tone. And that is what most, so if you're like a super purely positive reinforcement kind of trainer, you probably don't even use that word. But if you're a balanced trainer like me, we do both reinforcements as well as, there are consequences for when you're not doing the right thing, when you're not making the right choices. You would probably be teaching your clients this word and the way it's not just out. No, it's not just like that. It's got to be in a guttural tone. Out. And it works perfectly. So I've worked with dogs that I don't even know, like I've never met before. And that was like the first time I'm doing it. If the dog's is inappropriate and I say it out, the dog immediately sits and look at me. So it triggers that memory, right? That what's imprinted in that first few weeks of its life when it heard its mom say that. Right. So, Louise, that's what I would use. I wouldn't use a firm no. I wouldn't use the word no. I would switch it and use the out in this guttural tone. And then I would be doing a lot of counter conditioning exercises with my dog against other dogs, but you would start from afar. So you would go like a couple hundred yards, like you like park yourself where there are other dogs are, okay, and then after that you can have food. You can have food if you're not in my From Fearful Fido to Confident Canine course and don't really know how to use a slip chain collar and whatnot. Like just use food for now. A couple yards, a couple hundred yards away, and then after that, you see a dog, your dog sees it, you would out your dog, and then after that, ask your dog to keep his or her eyes on you, right? As soon as it does that, all right, you give the treats, okay? When your dog looks at the other dog again, you would still out it, and then after that, you can either move away, all right, move away, or make a turn. The whole thing is you do not want your dog to lock eyes with the other dog, because there is a stage, it's called the lock, loaded, and then lunge. When it looks and it stares and then it's loaded, right, and it's getting ready to lunge, it's got a lot of energy there to go forward to the other dogs. That's not a good thing. You do not want your dogs to get into a lock stage. So the dog may look, and that's fine. So that's why you want to distract your dog and have your dog look at you. You can do a watch me, you can do a look at me, you can if you have really with this exercise to counter condition your dog, and if you're using food, I want you to use a super high value food, Louise, like super high value food, because if it's not a high value food, then there is nothing that's going to, like, their dog's like, oh well, this is just a miserable milk bone, like I don't want it. Let me go pay attention to the dog. So I would say, use like those boiled chicken or bacon or something like really high value that they do not get at any other time. All right, so super high value. And when you use it and you're able to get your dog to focus on you, give them the treat. When they're not looking at the dog, give them the treat, and then after that, walk away away from that dog. Or if you're walking towards that dog, make sure that it's a path whereby you're not going to face that other dog face to face yet, because it's still too soon. Your dog needs a lot of repetitions where it's working against another dog from a distance. So you go from like 100 yards, and then after it start moving closer. But this might take weeks, sometimes months. Those of you who have heard my story, you would know that, when I was working Latte against the electric scooter that she hated electric scooter. It wasn't necessarily the people. It was the electric scooter. She was scared of the electric scooter. So she would lunge against the electric scooter. And so I had to work her against this electric scooter over and over again, like over a space of like 4 to 5 months. I would park myself in different places in the city, knowing where the electric scooters were coming. This was like, I think it was like 2017 when electric scooters came into Baltimore City. And it's like, I would park myself in like different places because I knew there would be electric scooters. And when I see it from afar, I'm doing my thing. I'm like, Latte, watch me. And I would out her first. And then after that, she would watch me and I would treat her. And then I would tell her what a good girl is. The electric scooter comes closer and closer. I would maintain the watch me with her. She does really well. I jackpot her and I gave her a whole bunch of, at that time we were working with boiled chicken. I gave her a whole lot of bacon. So it's Luis, you missed what I say, but you can catch the replay. Okay, Luis, you can catch the replay because a lot of things that I'm saying, you can just catch the replay on in the group or on my page or on my YouTube. All right. If you're watching this on YouTube and you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as well as like this video because it helps me, obviously, and it will help me make more videos as well. Some of my videos are going to be uploaded on my YouTube channel, not necessarily from my Facebook lives. So there are videos that I'm making that is just specific for my YouTube channel that is on dog training stuff. So go ahead to my YouTube channel, Polite Pups Academy, and subscribe to that and like this video. And then you will see other videos that's going to come in the next couple of months. All right. So Luis, what I said was don't use the no, but actually use out. All right. Watch this video again to see what I said. And then to do the reactive dog exercises, the counter conditioning, If you have not downloaded the Reactive Dog Guide, make sure you do that. But I did kind of explain how you start from afar and then you start getting closer and closer and closer. You want your dog to be nicer with other dogs, but you can't just introduce your dog to another dog right away. You need to make sure that you start from afar, and that you need to have a lots of repetition for that. The reason why I was telling folks about my story with Latte is because it took us 5 months for her to countercondition and be okay with the electric scooter, because she would always lunge towards the electric scooter, and that would scare the people on the electric scooter. And that wasn't good. Plus, it wasn't good either because she would try to take my arm out, and I'm not going to have that, right? So, but I couldn't, even though I was a trainer, it's like I couldn't just like expect her to overnight not be afraid of the electric scooter. It doesn't work that way. So it took 5 months, but it was worth it, because now she sees the electric scooter. She doesn't go after the electric scooter anymore, because she knows like, oh yeah, well, you know what? They're not scary. And I've been getting lots of treats whenever electric scooter comes. Eventually I worked her away from the treats. She just like, she does not go after the electric scooter. She gets lots of pets, lots of praises. She likes that as well. So number one thing is make sure you are counter conditioning your dog with using food that is like super high value, something that you don't usually use all the time. Okay. So like I use boiled chicken because I don't usually use boiled chicken all the time. Usually like other times I use like just the small training treats, Zooks, or might be like maybe like just like little doggy biscuits. All right. And then number two, you need to instead of saying firm no, instead of saying no, because that is so much in our vocabulary, use the word out, all right, in that guttural tone. That guttural tone, that out in that guttural tone reminds the dogs very much of what their mama dogs would do to them as puppies. So if your dog has not been separated from its mama, like, you know, within the first few weeks of its life, it would have heard that. So it's imprinted in them. They would remember it. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not sure whether you heard this, Luis, like I would work with dogs that I don't know, and I would say out, and the dog immediately looks at me like, okay, I am going to behave myself. So it works. All right. It works. And then download the Reactive Dog Guide and follow the steps on there. Go into the Facebook group and ask questions when you're working on it. And I was just telling right at the very beginning, my From Fearful Fido to Confident Canine course is starting tomorrow. And we have a nice small group of folks that we're looking forward to working with. All right. So the person who asked me about the 6-month-old Rottweiler, his weight is 38 kg and doesn't eat a lot. My suggestion to you is maybe try a different food, try a different brand of food. It might be just the food that he doesn't like. Because I don't know what else is happening, and I'm not sure whether 38 kg is already about 60 something pounds. 6 months Rottweiler. That sounds like about the right weight though for a Rottweiler, for a 6-month-old puppy. But yeah, definitely try a different food. And I will see you all next week. All right. Take care and have a great rest of the Sunday. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to it if you're watching this on YouTube. Okay. Take care and bye-bye.